As you're starting getting settled, you might notice there's some activation around the word love, loving ourselves, Valentine's Day. Romantic love has such a mythology about it. And there's so much room there for pain and shame and blaming ourselves or feeling unworthy, unlovable. And one thing that I really see from my own experience is that there's nothing really in the way of loving ourselves except for the trauma responses, the beliefs that we have, and that we're really all lovable. And that it's very possible, and I see this all the time with people that I work with and people that I know, that we can actually really be present with ourselves in a loving way. And that might take a little bit of time because the inner critic has a lot of persistence, but that it is very possible for us to really have a felt sense of loving ourselves and supporting ourselves. And that it doesn't have to be tied to some external person or circumstances. And really the only way to deeply know love is to feel it inside. So if you were to bring your attention into your heart center, and see if you could completely let go of thoughts in your mind. We don't experience love in our head, we experience it in our heart. So any thoughts you might have about your past experience with love, your feeling of being unlovable, or times when you've turned against yourself, disconnected from yourself, those are all trauma responses. Those are all beliefs that we've formed based on our experience. A lot of those beliefs were formed when we were children. We didn't have a very sophisticated brain development at that time. Notice your whole surroundings. Notice if you're safe to let go of the thinking mind for a little bit. We know that vigilance, that the survival brain never goes off duty. It'll always be here. So if something was to come up, you could trust that you would hear it or you would know it. And we also know that it's very unlikely that something will come up that you need to attend to during this practice. So we could take a few deep breaths and let ourselves settle into the heart. One of the ways that we might begin with the practice is to bring our attention to that location in the center of the chest. And notice that that location is in the body, it's in the space the body is in, what space the body is occupying right now. And it's in a certain location, it's not in our elbows or in our kneecaps or something. It's in the middle of the chest, in the middle of the rib cage that protects the heart and lungs. And when we go to the mind for answers, we usually go to the brain behind the forehead. We go into thought. When we go to our gut instinct, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of the gut, in the navel center of the lower belly. And our gut instinct is very helpful. It helps us to know when there's danger here. We have a felt sense, a gut instinct to things. And the brain and the head is also very helpful. We can figure things out. We have all of this wonderful development in the prefrontal cortex. That humans have this higher level of brain development is part of why we've thrived. But we also have a lot of not so helpful thinking that happens in the brain as well. A lot of it's driven by the primitive brain, our survival instincts, fear, memories of the past. So we can't really turn to the brain and rely on the brain in our head for everything. It's very helpful for some things, not so helpful for others. So notice your heart center. We're going to focus primarily in the heart during the practice. And then broaden your attention to include the whole of your body. Let's take a moment to see if there are tight spots, contractions, anything that we could release or soften. Notice your forehead and eyebrows, your eyes. And for several breaths, as you breathe out, let your forehead and eyebrows soften, corners of your eyes. Let your eyesight, your visual sense, come to rest. Notice your mouth and jaw, your tongue, your throat. If you're clenching your teeth in particular, put a bit of space between your upper jaw and lower jaw. Maybe your lower jaw around a bit. Take a few breaths. Let your tongue soften and settle on the floor of your mouth. Let your vocal cords completely rest. And then notice your neck and shoulders, the sides and the back of the neck, the front, the top, and the back of your shoulders, the muscles of your upper back, and let that whole area soften. Let your attention drift from the sides of your neck and shoulders into your arms and hands. Let your hands be at rest. And bring your attention to your upper back from the back of the neck down through the shoulder blades to the lower rib cage, all of those large muscles that cover the ribs at the back. And notice what it feels like. If you were to completely soften through your upper back, that would be quite different. We often shield ourselves or brace ourselves or carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. As you're breathing out, you could bring your shoulders up if you want on an inhale and then breathe out, let them soften. If you're supported through your back, you could let yourself really sink back into that support. And tune into that area just behind the heart center, between your shoulder blades. Let that soften on the out breath. And come down through your lower back into your legs and feet. We also aren't moving about at the moment, so you could let your legs relax. Let the activity of the arms and legs become still. Let the whole of your back body soften. We're not actually going to protect ourselves by having hardness or tightness in the back body. And that can also be a persistent habit. But notice even a little bit of softening as you exhale, your attention on the back of your shoulders, shoulder blades, the whole back of your rib cage behind your heart center. Let go of your defenses, just for now. And then bring your attention a few inches into your body from the back of your heart center into the interior. Come through the muscles, through the rib cage, the spine. Focus your attention in your heart center itself. And notice what's in front of the heart center. A few inches in front of the heart center are the ribs, the muscles that cover the front of the chest. Let's focus there for a moment. Notice the muscles from the collarbones down through the lower rib cage, diaphragm muscle, the stomach area, navel center, lower belly. And then expand your awareness to include the whole of the front of your body. And notice that there's movement as you breathe. Your stomach area, navel center, lower belly. There's a rise on the inhale. There's a softening and a settling back to the spine as you breathe out. And let any remaining tightness or tension dissolve out of your body as you're paying attention. Every exhalation gives us another opportunity to soften, to release. And with every inhalation, we nourish our body, we bring in that fresh oxygen. So take a sufficient amount. You don't have to gulp in big amounts, but just take enough air so you're really nourishing your body. And then a longer, slower exhalation, softening, relaxing. We don't actually need the brain and the head to relax our body, to notice our breath, to directly experience the sensations in our body. So let any thinking be in the background, just this awareness of your experience. And bring your attention back fully now into your heart center. Sometimes there's sensation, sometimes there's stillness, sometimes there's kind of a numbness, like we can't quite access it. Notice what's going on right now in that location. What are the sensations in that area of your body? Notice the location and notice the space all around. From the heart center, a few inches back is the spine and the muscles, the rib cage. Same to the sides and to the front. Notice the space on top of the heart center, immediately above, and then up to your collarbones, your throat, up through your head, to the sides, the front and the back, and below. There really isn't any separation in this space. The heart center is part of the body, it's part of what's happening in our body, in that space of our body. At times we work with a warm golden glow of light in the heart center. Some people's mind works that way, some people's mind doesn't. So if that works for you, allow that warm golden glow of light to be there right in the heart center. Other people have more of a felt sense, it's more kinesthetic, it's not so much light. So, whatever it is for you is absolutely fine. Just to be present in your heart center without thought. You might still be attending to your breath, noticing the movement in your body as you breathe, noticing the softness of your breath. Let your belly relax so there can be that effortless, smooth flow of breath. The center of our attention is the heart center, and then everything else is on the edges of that, like a circle or an orb that's getting larger and larger. We're not unaware of energy or sensation in our neck or shoulders or behind the eyes. There might be some attraction to thought. It's okay. And then we let our attention float back down, rest in the heart center. A little bit aware of the breath, a bit aware of the whole body from this awareness in the heart center. And sometimes thoughts will come in, sometimes they are coming up out of sensation in the heart center. And we could notice them. We could be observing. Oh, there's that thought. That's a familiar thought. Or I recognize that one as a brain kind of a thought. But whatever the thoughts are, we could just notice that they're there, but keep attending in the heart center. We might be noticing sensation or having an experience. We might be sitting in that golden glow of light, but we're not trying to generate anything in particular. We're really just resting in the heart center. Emotion might come and go, thoughts might come and go, and we come back. We remain steady and grounded, just from the heart center, resting. Before we finish the practice, we could review what happened, review if there were certain thoughts coming up or certain sensations, energies, if it was difficult to stay focused. What was your experience? Maybe there's something you'd like to follow up on later. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. And then before we finish, put your hand on your heart. Notice the warmth of your hand or your hands. We offer ourselves our own attention. We sit in the heart center and rest.